Don't freak out. All right, I know it's not the same hat. Dude, I don't want to wear that one into the ground. So I think I was going to wait until the cut was over. But honestly, I think I'm just weird for putting so much emphasis on it. So that old Cowboy Bebop hat has been retired and has been replaced by just a freaking, I say random, but this shit was not fucking random. I went to the mall to get a new pair of Converse, and I looked at the Adidas store and the freaking I think the oh thank you, like the North Face store. I was trying to find a hat that would fit my head. Dude, I think I just have a big freaking head, man. Eventually I found this literally a freaking dedicated hat store, Lids. I tried on a bunch of them, and this one actually fit onto my noggin. The only reason I wore that one for so long was just because it fit well. And then the only reason I wore it, solely as like my only freaking hat was kind of because it became a joke. After you post like 20 TikToks in a row and you wear the same freaking hat, it kind of just becomes a habit. But maybe I'll put a patch on this one. Who cares, man? It's not going to affect the pump. Speaking of which, I got to go freaking... no, we're good time-wise. I didn't really do my cardio as early as I would have liked, because typically my routine should be like cardio at 6:30 in the morning. Because when I'm at school, I've got my 8:30 classes. I do my cardio beforehand. So that's when I do my cardio during the week. But on the weekend, I tend to get a little bit lazy. I sleep in a little more. And then I push the cardio back until at the latest, like noon. So if I do my cardio at noon, like I did today, it's 4:30 now. I want as much time as possible in between the cardio and the lift. Because, let's think about this on a very basic level, not even talking about calories or anything else. What is cardio going to do to you? It's going to freaking wear you out. You're going to be tired. I want some time to recover, even though it's not like intense sprints or anything like that, where I'm like really wearing down muscle. I'm still just kind of, as a whole little system, right? I've exhausted some energy on the cardio bike, and I kind of want to replenish that, get, extra hydrated, whatever, just chill at least for a couple of hours. I've done the cardio like only 2-ish hours before the lift when I was really on like a time crunch. Probably not ideal. Really, I want to do my cardio at like 6 and then lift at like 3. That's probably my favorite scenario. But when shit gets in the way, sometimes I got to do my cardio earlier or later, or I'll do the lift later, or, what have you. But, I think it's going to be in your best interest to try to figure out a way to fit cardio into your routine. Not only for the benefits that it'll give you physically, but it's also just kind of a good freaking way to wake up. I know that sounds like such a just fitness cliche, like doing your cardio in the morning. It's a good way to start your day. I know it sounds kind of like goofy like that, but I'm not really joking. It's almost, I want to say it's almost meditative in a sense, but I don't only think about it like that. When I'm at school, for me doing the cardio, that's just a little 45-minute, I guess, no, 30 minutes of the cardio is me actually doing the cardio on the bike. But, I got 10 minutes beforehand and maybe 10 minutes after to scout around the gym, see if I know anybody. And if I don't, I just roll. But if I know somebody, which honestly, the guys who I'm buddies with, none of them lift in the morning. They're all evening lifters. But let's say I do run into somebody. It's good to have a nice little chat like that, So getting back on the topic of arms, I think we all know the deal. I've got 8 sets planned for triceps, followed by 8 sets of bis. I did sort of a back and forth style on my last arm day, where I did 2 sets of tris, 2 sets of bis, 2 sets, back and forth like that. Yeah, I like changing it up, but I don't want to do that for this lift. I'm just going to do all triceps, and then all biceps, and a little bit of calves at the end as well. When I did my cardio today, when I went to the Planet Fitness, I'm going to start trying to stretch out again, kind of for 2 reasons. For one thing, it's probably good for you. Stay a little bit more limbler. I was trying to, whatever. Stay a little bit more nimble, loose. Oh, I was trying to say I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just feels good, right? Like when so I did my little 30 minutes on the bike, and then I went and sat down in the stretching section of the Planet Fitness. And oh my God, I could the straddle stretch where you sit down, you spread your legs, you keep them straight, and you try to bend forward and like touch your face to the ground. Like that would be the goal of the stretch. Dude, even just opening my legs up to 90 degrees, my adductors felt so tight. I bet that's probably maybe not the sole cause, but certainly playing a role into the tightness that I get from squats with my adductors. So I think I'm going to add stretching in the routine post cardio. I know I was hyping up the ice baths and the cold showers in the last car talk. Dude, I'm not freaking doing it. At least I didn't do it today. Not a chance. When I finished that cardio, I got home, took a warm shower. But I wasn't kidding though. That stuff is kind of a fun way to test your intensity. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow. But I guess I have a bad track record. So let's I can already feel the beta alanine making my face tingle. So I took the pre about maybe like 5 minutes before I got in the car. So I mean that's just a freaking legitimate factual indicator of the fact that it takes a while for your pre to kick in and start doing anything. So I would recommend that your pre-lift ritual should be, apart from obviously doing a proper warm-up, but around 30 minutes before your first working set, I think is a pretty decent way to time your pre-workout. So rolling up to the YMCA, let's just get arms started. In complete opposite fashion to the beginning of my last tricep workout, where I just put 3 extra plates on the stack and was just kind of repping it out. Here I'll just do the stack a little bit lighter actually, because this machine's a bit lighter. But instead of doing just a heavy move as much weight around as possible kind of movement, I think I'll do some slower controlled squeezing reps with the rope. I think 2 more just like that. Oh, 1 more. Oh, all right. Let's do 2 more sets, really focusing on the squeeze of single arm push downs. So no more need for the rope. So with anything one-sided, use your weaker side first. For me, the right tricep's lacking a little bit behind the left one. So I can do, however many reps in the right arm, and I'll match that to the left. So if I only get 20 here, but I could get 25 on the left, I'm still going to cut the left off at 20. Okay. I think a set of straight bar push downs will be a perfect finisher for the next 2 sets. This definitely ended up being more of a slow, controlled, squeezing tricep workout than usual. All right. Tries are now fully pumped. Let's I don't know what I want to start arms off with, or start buys off with. I was getting ready to do, heavy dumbbell curls, but honestly, I don't know. Maybe I want to start with something totally different. I'll think about it for a few minutes. All right, so I did a couple reps with lightweight and then heavier until I'm ready for my working weight. I haven't done cable preacher curls for a long time. This Y used to have this as a dedicated machine. Like this setup, but the machine that used to be here, I guess somebody broke it and they didn't want to fix it. That was freaking, something about the angle of everything, I loved it. But for whatever reason, I remembered that you can move a preacher up to a cable and do some cable preacher curls. Not that it's really hitting the bicep in such a different way than like a normal dumbbell preacher. Really, the whole point of this is just change it up. So I think maybe a set or two here, and then we can move on to some other kind of curl. Oh. Actually, dude, shit, let's do 2 more. This felt pretty cool. Okay. Let's go do a seated curl. All right, so instead of starting off with, well, I guess this whole lift ended up being a little bit more slow and controlled than usual. Feeling pretty pumped already though, after only 3 sets of curls. So I think a set or 2 of these machine curls should feel pretty good. But then I want to move on to some easy bar preachers. Okay. Let's do some easy bar preachers. Whew. Nothing really to say here other than burn out. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go check the pump before it freaking disappears. Whew. There we go. Back to the classic spin class room. Totally forgot what that was called. Let's see what this pump cover has to reveal underneath itself. I gotta be careful taking this shirt off because the waist isn't elastic. Like it doesn't, like this bottom part doesn't stretch. So if I pull too hard, I'll just like rip some of its internals or whatever. Whew. Ooh. Even just straightening my arms all the way out like that, I can feel my biceps getting tight. Oh, yeah. Lat spread with the arm pump is probably one of my freaking favorites. Okay. Oh, that's pretty much all I got for freaking arm poses. So, 8 sets, reasonable intensity, good burn. I'm freaking pumped. I'll bring a tape measure in one of these days. We can do a unpumped cold measurement and then, a pumped measurement. We can see just how much bigger the arms get with a pump versus without it. So, whew. How do I, what the hell? Oh, no, here we go. I could not remember the way that I freaking hold my hands when I do this little flex. Whew. Whew. All right, over the next 3 weeks, we'll get up to peak arm vascularity. Still a bit more to come, even though there are some veins poking out. Oh, we'll get just a touch leaner, and then we can finally get back to the part I'm excited for, the freaking bulk. I got breakfast today, and they were serving cinnamon rolls, and I could just see them through the little glass window next to me. I was getting tempted. Not that I would get one, of course, but maybe don't flaunt it right in front of my face. Instead, I had an omelet and then some, not sunny side up eggs, just a couple of egg whites on the side. So I'm gonna go finish my calves. Not gonna record it just because it's 8 sets of just 20 single leg calf raises on the seated machine. Really nothing to see, but I am a firm believer that your calves are gonna benefit from at least frequent stimulation. I won't say daily, because I'll do calves and then be sore for a couple of days after. But for the most part, when I train calves consistently, they may be sore for another day, but unlike legs, which I'll feel for a few days after a good leg day, same thing with chest or back or pretty much everything else, you walk around in your calves every day. They're used to being fucking worked. So, classic analogy I make, heavier dudes just have big calves. And that's because they're constantly working them, giving them daily stimulation with a lot of load. See what I'm saying? So if you're 100-something pound dude, just from walking around with your body weight, your calves aren't getting that stimulation. And same thing with me, even at 230 something, I didn't weigh myself today. My calves need some extra work in the gym. So I'm going to get up there, finish up, do a little bit of chatting, and we can get in the car. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a cooking thing afterwards. I'm not exactly certain if I will or not.